The Scottish Highlands are some of the most beautiful landscapes on Earth. But behind the mountains, forests, and mist-covered lochs lies a much darker truth.
Oh, the door's open there. Let's have a quick look at these.
Hikers, climbers, and tourists have reported terrifying encounters on trails, and some of them were actually caught on camera. From unexplained figures lurking in the fog, to hikers vanishing without a trace, to chilling creatures that defy explanation. These are the 6 most disturbing Scottish Highland Trail encounters ever caught on camera. On the afternoon of May 12, 2018, a group of hikers set out to climb Ben Nevis, the tallest mountain in Scotland. The weather was rough, with fog rolling in across the summit as they filmed their journey on a GoPro. For the most part, the footage was exactly what you'd expect: snow, wind, and long stretches of rock. But then, as they rested near the summit, something strange appeared in the background. Oh! Who? What was it? A tall, thin figure moving quickly across the ridge, but in the wrong direction. The hikers thought it was another climber until they noticed the figure left no footprints in the snow. Even stranger, when they zoomed in later, the figure had unusually long arms and legs, disproportionate to any normal human.
Something moved. What is that? Do you see that right there?
Locals claim this was a sighting of Unfair Leith Moore, better known as the Big Grey Man of Ben Macdui, a legendary figure said to haunt the Scottish Highlands. Skeptics argue it was just a trick of the fog, but to this day, the hikers swear that what they saw was not human.
Are those human or not?
On September 3rd, 2014, 2 mountain bikers were exploring the trails near Glencoe, recording their ride on helmet-mounted cameras. For the first half hour, everything seemed completely normal, until one of them suddenly slammed on his brakes. In the footage, a pale face can be seen peeking out from behind the trees, just meters away from the trail. When the bikers turned back to investigate, there was nothing there. They assumed it was a trick of the light until they reviewed the footage later that evening. The figure was clearly humanoid. With hollow, black eyes and a gaping mouth. Some locals claim the Glencoe trails are haunted by the victims of the massacre of 1692, when dozens of members of the MacDonald clan were killed. Others believe it may have been someone deliberately trying to scare travelers, but the haunting expression caught on film remains one of the most disturbing trail encounters in Scotland. On July 29th, 2019, a solo hiker live-streamed his trek through the Cairngorms National Park. The first hour of his stream showed nothing unusual. He talked to viewers, commented on the trail, and described the weather conditions. But then, things took a terrifying turn.
The exact date on the Sunday is the 7th.
Yeah, so this video's obviously gone up on the 6th.
As he reached a remote part of the trail, strange noises began echoing in the background. Low, guttural growls followed by heavy footsteps. The man spun his camera around several times, but nothing appeared on screen. At one point, a large rock tumbled down the slope beside him, as if thrown by something just out of sight. Viewers of the live stream flooded the chat with warnings, begging him to leave the area immediately. But before he could respond, the stream abruptly cut off. Rescue teams later found the hiker safe, but shaken, claiming he was chased for nearly half a mile by something huge, though he never actually saw what it was. The footage remains online, and paranormal researchers point to it as one of the clearest signs of a Highland cryptid encounter. On November 2nd, 2006, a group of amateur filmmakers were shooting landscape footage near Loch Ness. While reviewing their tapes later, they noticed something unusual moving just beneath the surface of the water. At first, it looked like waves caused by the wind, until a massive dark shape emerged with what looked like a long neck protruding above the loch. The team had accidentally filmed one of the clearest modern clips of the Loch Ness monster. But that wasn't the disturbing part. Just moments after the figure appeared, the camera caught something else. A second, smaller head breaking the surface nearby. While many dismissed the footage as a hoax, locals began to whisper that the loch didn't just hold one creature, but an entire family. Whether real or not, the video remains one of the eeriest encounters ever captured on a Highland trail. On April 15th, 2020, a drone operator was flying his device over the Isle of Skye, filming the dramatic cliffs and trails for a travel blog. The footage was stunning until he noticed a lone figure standing still on a narrow ridge. When the drone zoomed closer, the figure's details became clear. It looked human, but its face was completely blurred, as if the camera itself couldn't capture it. The operator circled back for another pass, but in just seconds,
so she can make somebody be completely disorientated and forget the way out of the forest. That's why you do not want to go too far into the
figure had vanished. There was nowhere it could have gone. No cover, no trees, just open cliffside. When the video was uploaded, many viewers claimed it was a camera malfunction, but others were convinced it was evidence of something supernatural, an entity tied to the island's long history of Celtic folklore and ghostly legends. On March 10, 2015, a group of hikers camped overnight along the West Highland Way. They filmed their evening by the fire, laughing and cooking food as the wind howled outside their tents.
Something strange inside the garden. There's like white.
But at 3 a.m., one of their cameras, still recording, captured something bone-chilling. A tall, shadowy figure moved silently through their campsite, stopping just outside the glow of the fire. None of the hikers woke up. The figure lingered for nearly 2 minutes before slowly vanishing into the darkness.
No. Shut up. Please do not hang up.
When the group reviewed their footage the next morning, They were horrified to see what had been standing among them as they slept. To this day, they have no explanation for what the figure was. But the footage remains one of the most disturbing Scottish Highland Trail encounters ever caught on camera. From faceless hikers in the mist, to shadowy figures stalking campsites, to the legends of ancient spirits and cryptids roaming the Highlands, these encounters remind us that Scotland's trails are more than just beautiful landscapes. They are places where folklore, history, and the unexplained collide. And the scariest part? Many of these events weren't whispers or rumors. They were caught
Can you please do it
on
again
camera.
for us?
Hello?
Leaving behind chilling evidence that continues to baffle skeptics and believers alike.
That was loud.
If you enjoyed this journey into the disturbing side of the Highlands, make sure to subscribe, click the bell to enable notifications, and join me, the Ghoul Detective, next time as we uncover more terrifying encounters from around the world.